Welcome, everyone. My name is Kristin Gebhardt, and I come to you today from the School of Professional and Continuing Education at Madison College. Today, we are talking to Amy Moore, who is the owner of Little Luxuries on State Street, and we're going to talk about business resiliency. First of all, Amy, I love Little Luxuries. It's one of those legend stops shops on State Street where I buy something probably every time I walk in the door. Even if I didn't know I needed a gift, I would buy a gift there or something for myself. So you have so many unique and wonderful things.
Well, first off, thanks for inviting me to join you today. And thank you for your support of Little Luxuries over the years. I'm glad to hear about your positive experience. And we're celebrating 30 years on State Street this year because of you and so many others in the community and their recognition of shopping local and how important that is. So thank you.
That's when you say 30 years, I'm like, wow, I really am old. But yes, it's just, I can't even imagine Madison without you. So for those who aren't familiar with your shop, can you tell us a little bit more about Little Luxuries?
Yeah, so we're located in the heart of Wisconsin's capital city, Madison, on State Street, the 200 block of State Street, right between the university and the Capitol. Our gift collection includes just kind of a little bit of everything. We got books, puzzles, games, jewelry, accessories, tabletop items, spa products, gifts for children, and more. So our collection offers a bit of whimsy and play, and our goal is to provide a distraction from the everyday. And we try to provide an experience that stimulates all the senses. And we pride ourselves on providing that memorable shopping experience as well as excellent customer service and helping people provide special gifts for their loved ones and themselves.
It's great when you said distraction. I don't think there's a better time right now than to have a distraction. So more and more people need your store if they haven't been there. Tell us a little, I love your background, so I found it fascinating. So tell us a little bit, about your background and how you came to own Little Luxuries, because it's been around 30 years and there's no way you have owned it for 30 years.
Yeah. So I studied actually interior design at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. And actually while in college, the first couple of years, I did work in retail on State Street. And interestingly, when I'd shop State Street, Little Luxuries was actually one of my favorite gift shops. I never realized eventually I'd come to own it. But after post-college, I lived abroad and throughout the country, a few different locations. Madison drew me back, and I ended up working part-time at Little Luxuries, which then ended up evolving into a management position. And then from there, eventually, I had the opportunity to use my interior design skills I didn't realize would translate so well into curating a gift collection for the store by doing the buying and then also the merchandising in a way that would elevate sales. And eventually the previous owner, Janice Strand, got to a point where she was ready to retire and just offered the opportunity, seeing that I had some of the skills that were necessary for success and I already knew how the business ran. And the timing worked out well for me. So eventually, that position arose. The timing was perfect and I jumped into the opportunity. So I'm actually approaching 2021 will be 10 years of ownership of Little Luxuries.
Wow, time flies. And, good job on the other owner for having a really good succession plan. So on her part too, for recognizing that. So back to the present now, what's it been like for your business since the pandemic really hit us strongly, hard back in March? And what were those first couple months like?
Yeah. Wow. So when I reflect back on the time and what's transpired since March, it's been quite a whirlwind. I'd say initially, we closed our doors when required and we shut down all operations. I had all of my staff go home and do 2 weeks of quarantining. And then at that time, I just, myself and my manager, we just took some time to really just take it all in. We absorbed the information we were learning about COVID-19. We observed how businesses were responding by paying attention to social media, and then just brainstormed a plan. And then throughout all of this, our plan has, of course, evolved as necessary on a daily basis for a while there to a weekly basis. interestingly, prior to COVID-19, my brick and mortar Little Luxuries pretty much specifically operated about 99% of our sales occurred in person in our brick and mortar space. So our website, unfortunately at the time, was not set up to sell products online. So we quickly leaned on social media. Our plan was to provide just a gift set, a variety of gift sets that offered themes for whatever special occasion was occurring. So a birthday celebration or welcome baby or a wedding celebration. And so we created themes, and it was almost like a surprise box we created within the theme. So our inventory, we could get creative with, our careful collection that we curate, but also creative with the usage of our inventory. As we, sold down of certain products, we could kind of mix it up and add others within the theme. So we created images on social media, and interestingly, we took the sets, our gift sets, home with us, and we leaned on the U.S. Postal Service then to ship out of our homes initially, while shipping was our only option. In the meantime, we worked with Design Craft. They helped us. They were working on our website and a new development of that to allow for us to, in the future, then sell, on a website, which would be more viable in the long run. So as that was happening, we just continued to do what we could do on social media, and we evolved what we offered based on the needs. So like we were talking distraction, puzzles were like the rage and continue to be the rage. So we did offer individual items that made sense. And then eventually we evolved from shipping to delivery as we could. I got a little creative there. I own a pink scooter, so we advertised on social media that I would come and deliver within 10 miles of the store. And so people had myself, the business owner, like pop up with a pink scooter and deliver puzzles. So that was kind of a fun way to get people excited. And then eventually curbside. And then we opened our doors when allowed at 25%, which is 5 people at a time. And we required, I knew from the get-go when we opened our doors that I wanted to take all the safety precautions. So we did require masks from the get-go and had hand sanitizer available, did the social distancing and continued to do all these things, of course, and cleaning, disinfecting in between customers. We only take credit cards at the time. So just taking all the cautions so that we could assure the safety and the health safety of our customers and our staff members. And yeah, we continued to do that. And eventually the website became available. And then we had those gift sets available there, as well as some of our favorite gift items as well. And that's littleluxuriesmadison.com. So it has evolved into what is necessary today for COVID-19.
Yeah, I love it. I love the creativity, and I love that at least you had started with your website, and so at least you were at least part of the way there, but kind of accelerated everything that all of us have had to learn, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So what tips and or advice could you give other small businesses on how to be resilient in times like this when things are so uncertain?
Yeah. First and foremost, I think continue to creatively brainstorm and be open-minded about opportunities that you might think isn't possible. Could end up being it could pleasantly surprise you as far as how successful it could be. So an example, another thing we did was I have a porch, a nice sized porch at my home, and we did a little porch pop-up so people outdoors. Yeah. So, something that I would have never thought of really was successful, and the community really appreciated it. So continue the brainstorming. I'd say continue to stay closely connected to customers and clients, as well as peers, business peers, and keep all your, professionals close to you, that can provide the advice necessary. That is important right now. Continue to master the social media skills and consider a website revamp if necessary. We've really become much better at photography and like live video and all the things. I did not think I'd ever evolve into being good at it, but Yeah, that was a great surprise.
Yep.
And then collaborating with other businesses as much as possible, and continuing to follow all the cautions regarding the pandemic to minimize the spread of the pandemic. Of course, if our numbers stay low in the community, then our community is healthy, which is a positive, but also our businesses can stay open. So I think it's really important to continue to do that, no matter what, mandates are in the community, in your own community. Yeah, so, and then just we hope for the best, we stay positive, but we, of course, it's important to financially be conservative because we just don't know what lies ahead. So, and then just staying positive through it all as much as we can. But being, I guess, easy on oneself when we do have those rough days, because that is definitely going to happen. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, those positive words, and you're making sure that negative self-talk in your brain doesn't take over, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So one other real quick question, if you can think of one of the things, what is one of the most important things you've learned from this whole experience?
I'd say how important it is to be adaptable. And that is one strength I think small business owners can have in a way.
Yeah.
Even if we're not always prepared, we can quickly pivot as necessary. And well, at least that's my case. So I would just say, as the pandemic evolves, so must we as business owners and our practices. So just staying open-minded with that and continuing, and whatever sticks, then stick to it, I'd say. Mm-hmm.
I love that. Pivot is a word I think I've used a lot more in the last few months than I think I probably ever have in my career. So that is great. So thank you so much, Amy, for sharing your insight and your story. I know this information will be super helpful to others, especially other small business owners. And just a little plug for Little Luxuries. Pay them a visit. It is such a fun place to shop.
Thank you so much. And I wish all of you business owners all the best as we navigate these unique times and continue to stay strong.
You bet. All right. Well, awesome. So to all of you in this great community, thanks for listening. Please stay healthy and safe. And from all of us at Madison College, until next time.